Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushua, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushua, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahushua, Ba'Hashem, God Kodash. That belongs to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone True Well. Salutations to the hopeful elect out there. Yakim to Sadakim that do this thing in the utmost truth and sincerity. Alright. Sorry, excuse me, brothers. Alright, on the pre-Shemon, this week's topic is going to be entitled Working on the Sabbath. The inspiration for the show comes from the fact that, I just wanted to put together this show because I had to work on the Sabbath, which a lot of brothers do, alright? Or rather I chose to work on the Sabbath because my job, I do the ride share. You do have the option to not work or not, alright? But I wanted to put this out there. Look, brothers, the fact is, if you have duties and responsibilities you have to take care of, you can't really pray those away. At the end of the day, you're still going to have bills and certain responsibilities come up. All right. And by all means, we have faith that Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushua is going to take care of us. All right. But also you need work. So you can't just, again, pray your bills away, pray your responsibilities away. You have to, pray the Most High put you in position to handle those responsibilities, and another thing too is this is not our rest. Micah 2:10. We are in captivity. You could look at the so-called Jew, all right, for example. What they do, they have their own community, all right. They hire each other, all right. They have their own police, all right. They have their own shops and everything, all right. The so-called Jew, that way, all right, amongst themselves, they all keep the Sabbath, right? The so-called Jew, they all keep it because guess what? If I work at, let's say, example, like a B&H, right? Well, I should say they all keep their Sabbath, because, we know that the Sabbath, according to the scriptures, goes by the lunar calendar, all right, or by the new moons, all right? But they go by Fridays and Saturday. Now, let's say this, right? They could establish their Sabbaths because, again, let's say if I worked at B&H, I know that my boss is going to have the Sabbath off, or they work in their own deli in their community. They can say, look, the Sabbath is this time third, all right, and they can have it off, all right. They can say things like, look, only kosher food at this job. They could do these types of things, all right, because they have their own community established to where they could do these things, all right. And at the very top, we know the so-called Jews, which are not the real Jews, all right, run everything, all right. So they're pretty much protected, by cops, all right. If anybody say anything against them, they can, set up the ADL to pretty much to cancel you. All right, so they have all types of protection. We don't have that luxury here. A lot of our people don't know that they're Israelites. All right, they're lost and they're gone. Okay, so here it is. You might be trying to do your best to keep the law, statutes, and commandments, primarily the Sabbath, which is the topic we're dealing with. All right, but how many people you could go up to and tell them, look, I want this job, but I can't work on the Sabbath? And again, even if that person is willing to work with you or you have your own job per se, all right, things could pile up, man. Things could pile up. And we're not willingly wanting to do these things, all right, but we're just in a situation to where, we're just rehearsing. Judges 5 and 11, we're rehearsing the righteous acts. Okay, but I wanted to put this lesson out there because you might have a brother that, in his zeal, all right, could put himself in straits. What do I mean by that? In his zeal to keep the Sabbath, all right, he might put himself in hard difficulties, bro. But the scriptures say, "Be not righteous over much." You don't have to be overly righteous. If that analogy, if that similitude pertains to you, all right. Okay, if that pertains to you, you don't have to really put yourself in a jam, all right, to keep the Sabbath. In other words, you're skipping out on working, whether you're a DoorDash or whatever have you, these app-based jobs, which those are the ways to go. That's pretty much the way to go, is these app-based jobs, because if anything, that's what that lockdown taught you. At any point in time, they could deem whether you're essential or not essential, and just shut down your jobs and fire your ass. Okay, so you want to be able to sort of have an opportunity where you could make your own bank, make your own bread, all right, on the whims, right? But yeah, brothers, working on the Sabbath, all right, and you might have different camps that disagree and all that, but you look into their closet, they're doing things far worse than, you know, a brother trying to work and get some bread, you know, to take care of his business on the Sabbath, you know. But you know what? That's going to happen because you had the same way you had those dudes getting on Yahushua and the apostles about the Sabbath. You're going to have these guys reincarnated come back, say the same shit. But when you check them out, you know, their camps can do things like allow dreads and shit like that, and so on and henceforth, you know. So that's the thing about it, you know. They don't cast a beam out their own eye, so you can't really judge a man. And the scriptures tell you that. Judge no man on the Sabbath and the feast days, man. All right. In other words, you know, that's how come we tell brothers like, look, man, say you you know, the Sabbath comes in, all right, and you say, you know what, man, I have to work this week. You know what? I'm gonna keep a Sabbath for myself. All right, I'm gonna keep a Sabbath the day after where I'm actually off from work. All right, take a time for my woman and all that. You can do that. You know what I'm saying? You can do that. You know? But I'm not saying go around teaching that you can establish your own Sabbath, right? We know that the Sabbath is according to the new moon, but if a man wants to say, look, man, I'm going to keep, you know, the Sabbath worked out better for me if I, you know, esteem it on this particular day, then by all means, brother, go ahead, you know? But yeah, you know, faith without works is dead. So just having faith and believing in the Lord's statute commandments and saying, look, man, I'm not going to do this and that on the Sabbath, again, that's not going to take away your responsibilities, man. That's just how things are, you know. Again, we're in a rehearsal, and we know that if you break one law, you break them all. Is that a license to sin? Absolutely not. Romans 3:31. All right. But again, just saying, if it's not expedient, you know, don't go out your way. But if it's something where you can do, you know, all your responsibilities are taken care of, all right, you have a job where you have the ability to choose not to work, all right, then by all means, you know, that's a beautiful thing, brother, you know. But to the brothers out there, especially the ones that are just now coming in, and when you come in, all right, you come in with a lot of zeal, you know, you come in with a lot of, like, which is good, all right, but sometimes in that zeal, you know, we could do sort of things that just, you know, a complete lack of experience, like aforementioned example I gave, you know, putting yourself in a jam, in a situation where, you know, it'd have been better, brother, if you'd just work and got your bread, you know what I'm saying? Right? Again, I'm not pointing anybody out, I just use that example, you know? It could be another situation like, you know, avoiding hell with who you live with, you know, avoiding hell who you live with, because sometimes, you know, these people in the world, they could give you shit, all right, for you trying to keep the law, statute, commandments, especially if you have to contribute towards your household, you know, your wife, your kids, you know what I'm saying, or whoever you might dwell with, and they seen that you opted out of working and shit, and you're not, I mean, you could not do it if you have, again, your responsibilities in order. But if you don't have your responsibilities in order, all right, that could kind of backfire on you, because you know, they could start to sort of give you hell. Like, why is this guy, you know, he knows this shit is backed up. You know, he knows this has to be due, that has to be due, but he's not working. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, hey, you know, I think I've made the point, brothers. You know, Judges 5:11, we're rehearsing the righteous acts, all right, in a place of drawing waters, which is here in America, okay? The place of our captivity. This is not our rest, Micah 2:10, all right? We don't have the luxury of the so-called Jews and those that are in power, all right, to really fully, all right, keep the law, statute, commandments, and the customs our right way. So we just do the best, all right, that we can. And at the end of the day, look, man, we're saved through our faith in our Lord Yahushua, right? That's in the book of Romans, the 5th chapter and the 1st verse. Our righteousness now comes from from believing in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, all right? As it is written in Habakkuk 2:4, the just shall live by faith. And when you go into Hebrew, that word there for just is tazadak, so the righteous. And I just mentioned what makes us righteous, all right? Our faith in Yahushua. That's how we're now justified, man. Not by the deeds of the law, okay, which we can't keep perfect, right? Which the laws are perfect, but we're in vessels of imperfection. So when the Most High establishes us in the new glorious bodies to where we're able to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, then by all means, man. And we're gonna be in our power. We're gonna be able to keep everything perfect, all right. But until then, brothers, man, hey, If you gotta do what you gotta do, all right, handle your business, man. And the Most High Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, at the end of the day, He knows our hearts and He knows what we're trying to take care of, man. All right. So with that, I'm gonna give all praises to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, Bashim Rakakodash, the blessings of the apostles and the elders of Great Mills. I want you well, man. Hey, salutations to the hopeful elect out there, man. You Akim to Zadakim that do this thing that most truth and sincerity. Hey, shalom, brothers.